There's a boot box on the counter in front of me. $400, tissue paper still folded over the toe, price sticker not even peeled off. Next to it, a Treestand ratchet strap, coiled up. Sun-bleached gray on the side that faced out, still stiff where the ratchet teeth bit into it. 4 seasons hanging in the same tree. A guy I know owns both. He bought the boots this month, the strap he's had since he hung the stand. He spent the rest of his August money on a cellular camera and a carbon suit because a preseason must-have list told him those were the 2 things standing between him and a good year. He's not dumb. He got sold a story, and it was a well-told story. One of those purchases changed his season. The other one was the only thing between him and the ground. Number 1 on this list costs less than a tank of gas, and the correct move is to throw away something that still looks perfect. Don't skip ahead. It won't make any sense until you hear what disqualifies the other 11. Here's the filter. 1 question, same question. All 12 items. Does it expire or does it just excite? Expires means a clock is running that you don't control. A frost date. A break-in mileage. A price increase already announced and dated. A code stitched into a strap. Miss that window and the purchase is worthless or it's gone. Excites means somebody built the urgency for you. It'll cost the same in November. It'll be sitting on the same shelf in November. Expires or excites? I'll call it on every single one. I've had most of this on my own bench, on my own feet, or hanging off my own tree. I don't work for a shop, nobody ships me boxes, and I'm not selling you gear. I'm trying to keep you from spending August money on a November problem. And the bad advice here isn't coming from liars, it's coming from a calendar. Gear guides run in August because manufacturers release in August. The list gets written to the launch schedule, not to your season. If you want more of this, hit the like button. It actually moves the needle on a channel like this. Subscribe if you hunt on a real budget and you're tired of being marketed to. And hang around because number 1 breaks a rule most of the internet treats as gospel. Number 12. The Carbon Scent Control Suit. Greg Sesselman started building activated carbon hunting apparel under the Scent Lock name in 1992 out of Muskegon, Michigan. The fabric is a carbon alloy, activated carbon, treated carbon, and zeolite worked into the material to absorb odor. In 2007, 5 Minnesota hunters sued over the advertising. In 2010, federal district judge Richard Kyle ruled that phrases like odor-eliminating technology and works on 100% of your scent 100% of the time were false as a matter of law. Then in August 2011, the 8th Circuit threw that out. And here's the part almost nobody quotes. The defense experts' permeation testing estimated those carbon garments blocked 96 to 99% of odor compounds. Non-carbon clothing blocked 5 to 55%. It works. It just never did the thing the ad promised. $200 to $400 for a system. Against the filter, it excites. That's the same price in November. That's the record, not my opinion. Number 11. The Cellular Trail Camera. A Multi-Edge 2 Pro runs about $160. SpyPoint, StealthCam, Tacticam, and Bushnell all sell the same basic promise. Photos on your phone, no boots in the timber. Plans start around $4 a month at StealthCam and run to $13 or so. SpyPoint gives you a free tier at 100 photos a month. 100 photos sounds generous until you hang it on a scrape. You'll burn through that in the first week of October. What it's genuinely good for, at least 2 hours from your house, where every scouting trip costs you fuel and leaves scent. Where it fails is the value side. The sticker isn't the price. The sticker is the down payment, and the plan keeps billing you in February when there's nothing left to photograph. $130 to $200 up front, plus $4 to $13 a month, forever. That's what the price tag says. Here's what the invoice says. We'll get to that in a minute. Number 10, the long-range optic upgrade. This one's driven by cartridges. Federal Premium launched 7mm backcountry last year using peak alloy case technology to push higher velocity out of shorter barrels. This year, Remington's rolling out 3 7mm BC loads, including a 175 grain core locked and a 175 grain core locked tipped. Winchester's new Supreme Long Range with BC Max bullets carries a suggested price of $46 to $70 per box of 20 in everything from 6.5 Creedmoor to 300 Win Mag. New cartridge, new ballistic curve, new turret. That's the cycle. Good for genuine open country work where 600 yards is the actual shot you're being offered. $500 to $1,400 for glass to solve a 600-yard problem, when the overwhelming majority of tags in this country get filled inside 150 yards. On paper, it wins. Against the filter, it just excites. Number 9. The new rifle, or the caliber switch. Every August, somebody decides this is the year they finally jump chamberings, and the rifles are real, the cartridges are real, and some of them genuinely shoot better than what you own. The problem is timing. You're buying a rifle in the single worst month to feed an unfamiliar one. Here's the state of that market right now. Copper is up over 30% year over year, trading between $10,000 and $12,000 a metric ton, with a major mine offline since late 2025. Olin, Winchester's parent, posted an $85.7 million net loss in the fourth quarter of 2025 and cut shifts, headcount, and overtime at ammunition plants. Palmetto State Armory's AAC brand suspended ammo production entirely after a powder supplier diverted inventory to military contracts. $700 and up for the rifle, then $46 to $70 a box to learn it. It excites. And the empty shelf tag under your new caliber in October is not a fun thing to stand in front of. Number 8. The blind or box stand. This one's closer than the last three, and I want to be fair about it. Deer need weeks to accept a new structure in a field edge. That's a real clock. Put a box blind up on the 1st of October, and you've built a very expensive thing for deer to avoid. Good for gun season on open ground, for hunting with kids, for anybody who can't sit still in the cold for 4 hours. But $300 to $900 is a lot of money to spend on a deadline you can push to next August with almost no cost. If you just picked up a new property, move this up the list, genuinely. If you've hunted the same 40 acres for a decade, it excites. Number 7. Ozone generators and the rest of the Scent Tech shelf. Users aren't lying about their results. That's the part I want said plainly. Guys run these units and kill deer and tell you it worked. The trouble is attribution. You changed 4 variables: the unit, the wind you finally respected, the stand you moved, the fact that you sat longer. Independent field data on the units themselves is thin, and the claims run well ahead of it. $200 to $400 and no clock on it whatsoever. It excites. Now do this math with me. A $160 camera at $999 a month over 3 years. That's $160 plus $360. $520. Sit with that one for a second because it reprices everything I just said above. Number 6. Broadheads. This one passes, and it passes for a specific reason. $40 to $60 for a pack of 3, and they have to come out of your bow, from the quiver you'll actually hunt with, in the arrow you'll actually shoot. Not a friend's setup, not last year's setup. Buy them in October and you're tuning a bow during the season instead of hunting with it. There's your clock, it expires. Number 5, blaze orange and a rain layer. Boring, cheap, nobody makes a thumbnail out of it. Orange fades under UV. The vest you've had in the truck for 6 seasons isn't the color the regulation assumes. And requirements vary state to state, so the one in your glove box may not be legal where you're headed. $20 to $40 for a vest. The rain layer's a bigger swing, $80 to $250 depending on how hard you hunt. Both expire in the sense that the day you need them, you cannot go get them. Number 4, food plot seed. Brassicas, turnips, rape, radish, kale, canola. And this is the hardest deadline in the entire video because it's biological and it does not negotiate. The rule is 45 to 50 days before your first frost. In the upper Midwest, July 20th through August 10th is prime. In the South, early to mid-September. Whitetails Unlimited puts crude protein in that family at 20 to 38%, with yields up to 10 tons of forage per acre. Plant too early, and they grow enormous and go unpalatable at exactly the moment the herd needs them. A habitat consultant put brassicas in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in May of 1999 and watched deer eat the young crop to bare dirt by the end of July, months before the first frost. Straight brassica seed is cheap, guys mixing their own talk about $1.50 a pound. Bagged, branded blends will run you $60 to $120 an acre. It expires. Completely. There is no November version of this purchase. Number 3. Boots. 50 miles. That's the number people who fit boots for a living keep landing on. Roughly 50 miles before a stiff leather hunting boot stops being an object and starts being your boot. The structured protocols run 8 weeks, hours around the house, then flat pavement, then gravel and mulch, then hills with weight, $250 to $450. And one detail that ruins more hunts than bad boots do. If you break the boot in on the factory insole and then swap to an aftermarket footbed the week before the opener, you've changed the internal volume, the arch height, and the heel cup. The boot is no longer shaped to your foot. Blisters by mile 3. Find the hot spot on a sidewalk in August, not on a ridge in October with camp 4 miles behind you. It expires. Number 2. The ammunition you're actually going to hunt with, enough of it to zero in practice. Corloquet has been in production since 1939. It is not exotic and it does not need defending. What's changed is the price and the schedule. The Kinetic Group, Federal, CCI, Remington Speer, Blazer, Fiocchi, Heavy Shot confirmed increases of 2 to 10% effective April 1st of this year, then another 3% on promo rifle and handgun lines, starting June 1st. Winchester went 3 to 8% on January 1st, with Chief Executive Officer Kenneth Lane pointing at tariffs and metal costs, and they've moved to reviewing prices quarterly instead of annually. That last part is the tell. Mid-range hunting loads run about $1.20 to $1.80 a round. Premium is $2 to $3 and up. Here's the other half. Point of impact can move 2 to 4 inches at 100 yards between bullet weights and copper prints differently than the lead your rifle was sighted with. Buying a single box in October means you sight in with one thing and hunt with another. And if you're hunting a refuge, the Fish and Wildlife Service is running lead-free incentives at 26 refugees across 19 states for the 2026 to 2027 season, up to $50 a box on rifle, $25 on shotgun or muzzleloader, with proof of purchase from June of this year through June of next. Worth checking whether your ground qualifies. The non-lead requirement at 9 refuges is scheduled for September 1st. It's also actively contested. The service proposed rescinding it on May 27th, and Congress passed legislation this year restricting federal lead bans without site-specific data. Nobody knows how that lands. Check your refuge before you buy. It expires twice over, on price and on your zero. Number 1. Replacement straps, a lifeline, and 30 seconds looking at the date tag on your harness. Here's the rule it breaks. You are throwing away something that looks completely fine, and it outranks every 4-figure purchase in this video. The Treestand Manufacturers Association and most makers say retire a full-body harness after 5 years. Muddy says 3 to 4. Lifelines get replaced after their second season. Summit tells you to discard the lineman's belt and tether 2 years from the purchase date. There's an orange tag stitched into the webbing with the build date stamped on it. Most guys have never once looked at it. Why it matters? 18% of tree stand falls come from structural failure, broken straps, and broken steps. Not carelessness, hardware. UV weakens webbing that still looks perfect, and if you leave a strap tight through the off-season, the tree grows into it. Squirrels chew them. And 99% of people injured in a fall were not connected to the tree at the time. Meanwhile, the Wisconsin survey work found only 33% of bow hunters and 23% of gun hunters always wear a harness. 14% of bow hunters and 20% of gun hunters don't own one. $15 to $40 for straps, $40 to $70 for a lifeline. One guy on a Habitat forum replaced every strap, cable, and piece of hardware on 4 stands for $36. He called the manufacturer and asked. It expires on a date somebody stitched into it years ago. If I could only spend money on 2 things this month, it's straps and a lifeline first, and then the exact ammunition I'm going to hunt with, bought early enough to confirm my 0 before anything opens. That's it. That's the whole budget. Everything else can wait for a sale, a used listing, or next August. Buy what expires, skip what excites. Now tell me where I'm wrong, because I know some of you are going to fight me on putting a $40 strap above a rifle. And I want to hear it. What's the one August purchase you skipped and paid for in November? Put it in the comments, the specific one, with the price.